Hello, and welcome to Yoga Hypnotherapy with Stephanie. This is a brief demonstration of what a typical 1 hour class of yoga hypnotherapy would look like. This is not meant to be a full practice, but you're welcome to use it anytime you like to warm up your body, to connect with yourself, and connect with your breath. If you'd like to try a full class of yoga hypnotherapy, you can join me on Wednesday evenings over Zoom for a live class at 8 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Time. Message me for the Zoom link. I also have yoga hypnotherapy as part of my free 7-day self-love challenge course on teachable.com, as well as my 1-month-long course with yoga hypnotherapy, as well as other helpful tips for healing and transformation. Let's start our practice standing with our feet hip distance apart and our hands together in prayer position. And we'll begin by doing some head circles. Just being careful not to tilt your head too far back as you lift up. And maybe just try looking up through your eyebrows instead. And then we'll transition to just doing half circles, taking one ear to the shoulder and then coming down through the center, bringing the other ear to the other shoulder, and just going side to side a few times. And we'll allow our chin to drop down to our chest, and then slowly bring it up and do some shoulder circles, just circling back and around a few times. And then we'll circle the hands around, loosening up the wrists. At some point, changing direction, just whatever feels good for you, taking your time. And then when it feels right for you, you can inhale and reach up to the sky, taking the arms out, exhaling to lower the hands back down. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to float the hands back down. As we reach up, we'll interlace our fingers and bringing our hands to cup the back of our head. We'll inhale to look up, lifting the head and chin, letting the elbows go out. And then we'll exhale to bring our chin down towards our chest, bringing our elbows in. Inhale to lift and open. Exhale to slowly come back in. Letting that upper back move as much as it's willing to. And just remembering that we're warming up the body. So just take your time. And then we'll circle our arms back and around, one at a time, alternating. Letting the knees soften and bend a little bit, letting the hips move as well. And then we'll circle both arms together a few times, inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up and then down. And then we'll separate our feet out to allow ourselves to come forward and down, about halfway down with our upper body so that we can arch up as we exhale and inhale to lift head and tail. Exhale, pull your belly button up towards your spine, round your back. And inhale, lift your head, let your belly drop down towards the floor. And then exhale, pulling up, arching the back as much as it feels comfortable. And inhale, lift your head. We're going to take one shoulder over towards the opposite knee. Come back to center and then over to the other side. Just letting your knees bend and letting yourself squat a little bit. Loosening up the shoulders and the back. Loosening up the legs as well. Come center and arch the back up on your next exhale. And then slowly roll back up, circling the shoulders back and around. And then we'll circle the hips around. Going first in one direction a few times. Just letting the hip go out to the side. Push your belly forward and then over to the other side. Stick your bum out behind you. Just take your time. Just loosening up the hips and the hip joints. And then just a little hip sway from side to side. Opening the feet up a little wider so that they're wider than shoulder width apart. Inhale to reach up. Exhaling down. We'll turn one foot out and keep the other toes pointing forward. And we'll turn our head and look down the length of the arm that we're going to reach forward with. And then we're going to bring that arm down to rest against the leg. And the other hand reaches up to the sky. We let both shoulders press back. And reach up to the sky and down to the floor with the opposite hand. And wherever your hand lands on your leg is perfectly fine. Remember, we're just warming things up. We're going to come to center, walking the hands around. And then we'll slowly begin to bend the knees while at center position. And then straighten. Bend and straightening the legs a few times. And then slowly swaying side to side with the knees bending. A nice gentle sway. Hands above the knees to come up halfway. Engaging the pelvic floor muscles, lift straight up. Inhale to lift the hands up to the sky. Exhale and just come down to shoulder height, turning the other foot out, reaching and lengthening with that hand first. Come over the leg and then bring the hand down, letting the other hand reach up to the sky in triangle pose. And just staying for a few breaths, having a softness in the knees so you're not locking the knees. And then reaching down to the floor, coming into runner's stretch. So extend that back leg out and just being careful to keep that front knee straight up from the ankle, creating a nice 90-degree bend with the upper leg and the lower leg bent at the knee. Looking at a spot on the floor in front of you, keeping the neck nice and long. And then straightening the leg walk your hands towards center and then over to the other side for runner's stretch on that side. And again, you want to create enough space so that you get a nice stretch through the top of the leg that's stretching back. And you want to make sure that the knee of the front leg doesn't go past the ankle. That just puts a little too much strain on that knee. And then we'll walk our hands back to center and allowing your head to come down towards the floor in whatever position of open leg fold over works for you. So you can allow for your hands to rest on your legs. You can have a bend in your knees. You can rest your arms on the floor. You can rest the top of your head on the floor. Whatever feels right for your body is the pose that you're going to do today. And then walk your feet in towards center and come into a fold over position. And again, this is going to look different for everybody. You can grab a hold of opposite elbows. You can have your hands resting on the floor if you like, or you can have your hands resting on your legs. And we're going to bring our hands above our knees and just come up halfway. And then as we exhale, we'll slowly roll up, roll the shoulders back and down. Come to stand at the front of your mat so that you have the long edge of your mat out behind you for a half sun salutation. So inhale the arms up, exhale, fold forward and come down. And we're going to come down onto our hands and knees, and if you like, you can place a blanket underneath your knees. On an inhale, just lengthen the spine. As you exhale, pull the belly button up and arch your back up towards the sky. Inhale to lift your head and tail, letting the belly drop down towards the floor. And just move to the rhythm of your own breath, letting the spine move fully and comfortably. Allow for the knees to separate and allow for your bum to come back towards your heels in extended child's pose, reaching your arms out in front of you and letting your forehead rest on the floor if that feels okay. If your forehead doesn't come to the floor, feel free to make a fist of each hand and stack one on top of the other and rest your forehead on your fisted hands. Next, we're going to come into the puppy stretch, keeping your bum directly above your knees. Allow for your hands to walk out along the floor, letting as much of your arms come to rest on the floor as you can. Letting your forehead rest on the floor, letting your chest move towards the earth, and letting the back arch, sticking the tail up towards the sky. If you'd like to go into downward facing dog, you can simply curl the toes under and lift your bum up towards the sky. Feel free to alternate press one heel towards the floor and then the other, just alternating from side to side to further stretch out the backs of the legs. You can stay in puppy stretch if downward facing dog is not a pose you'd like to do today. And when you're ready, find your way back to child's pose. You can do the extended arm version, or you can bring your hands back by your feet, letting your shoulders round forward and having the palms of the hands facing up to the sky. Do whichever version feels right for you in this moment. Using your hands to push yourself up, come up to a kneeling position and bring your hands up to the sky on an inhale. And then as you exhale, Bring your arms down, bring your hands to rest with the heels of your hands at the top of your bum. We'll inhale to look up, lifting the head and chest. Pull your belly button in, engage your pelvic floor. And as you exhale, press the 2 hip bones forward. Inhale to keep lifting and opening through the collarbones, and exhale to soften and stretch into the bowing even more, keeping the pelvic floor engaged throughout the whole exercise. And when you're ready, inhale to come out of the pose, come back down, and we're going to come to sit on our bum with our legs crossed. Sitting nice and comfortably, arms down by your sides. And on an inhale, we'll float one hand up towards the sky, and then exhale and bend to the other side. You can tuck your chin into your armpit and look up through your brows, up the length of your arm, out past your fingertips, creating a nice long stretch for the side body. Inhale to come up, exhale to float that hand down. And then we'll do the other side. Inhale to float that hand up, exhale to the side. Keep reaching the fingertips towards where the ceiling and the wall meet. You can tuck your chin into your armpit and look up. Inhale to come up. Exhale to float the arms down. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, folding forward over your bent knees, keeping your spine nice and long. Trying to keep the neck in a neutral position. And remember to breathe. Tune into your body. Slowly come back up and change the cross of your legs so that the other leg is in front. Inhale to float the arms up and exhale to fold over the legs. And then just notice the difference. Notice what feels the same without feeling the need to change or do anything. And when you're ready, just slowly walk your hands back up and come to sit nice and tall. We're going to twist over to one side, allowing the opposite hand to come to rest on the knee, keeping the spine nice and long and just looking over the shoulder to look behind you. If your breathing is choppy, you need to ease up a little bit. When you're ready, just slowly unwind and come back to center. And we'll twist over to the other side now, turning to look over the other shoulder. And again, keeping your spine nice and long, create lots of space for the twist to happen. And then breathe into that space. And when you're ready, unwind and stretch your legs out in front of you, toes pointing up to the sky. Inhale to reach up and exhale to fold over your legs. A little tiny softness in the knees and a nice lengthening to the spine, letting your chest and belly come forward and down. Hang out for a couple breaths. Slowly come back up and find your way over onto your back now. Bringing one knee into your chest to hug it in, And then let the other leg straighten out along the floor. We're going to allow that other knee to come up, and we're going to turn the knee out so that we can rest our foot on top of that other bent leg and grab a hold behind the knee, letting the other knee drop open to the side. Both feet are flexed. Let go and bring both knees into your chest. And we'll just egg beater the knees a few times just to loosen up the low back. Letting one knee go out to the side while the other one comes in. And then we'll allow for the knees to rock side to side. And we'll grab onto the other knee, pulling that knee into the chest, extending the other leg out straight along the floor. We're going to allow that other knee to come up, turning the other knee out so that we can rest the foot on top of the leg, and again reach through and grab behind the knee to draw it in closer to the chest. Releasing and bringing both knees in, draw a circle on the ceiling with your knees. Just make the circle as big or as small as you like. And then at some point go in the other direction. Letting one foot come to the floor and then the other. Stretch your legs out along the floor. Reach your arms out past your head for a full body stretch. As we inhale, we'll stretch our whole body. And then as we exhale with a sigh, we'll let our whole body relax. Inhale to stretch. And then relax your whole body. Inhale to stretch, fingers and toes reaching in opposite directions. And then exhale, sigh, and let it go. And you can bring your arms down by your side, coming into the corpse pose. At this point, you can choose to do a traditional Shavasana, or you can do the hypnosis part of the session that's included. Again, you can stay in the traditional corpse pose on the floor, or you can find your way to a comfortable seat where you can relax fully. It's entirely up to you. You can find your way over onto your side, curling into the fetal position for a moment, and then using the hand in front of you, push yourself up. Support yourself to come up to a seated position. And if you like, you can bring your hands together in prayer position, bowing your head and saying Namaste.